Welcome everyone, Adam the Woo here, coming to you from a rainy, cold, crisp morning in Edmonton, Canada. I'm in Edmonton. I don't know if there's anyone named Ed lives here, and if he's a mountain, or if he lives on a mountain, or if it's just called Edmonton for whatever other reason that I don't know. It doesn't matter. It's cold. It's my second channel, daily blog channel. It's a daily woo, the Canadian woo, eh? See this train yard over here? These trains sitting there on the train tracks. I was thinking, I checked out of my hotel and then I started to think, the noggin started working and I thought, I should go over there and climb on the train tracks, climb up on the caboose perhaps. And then I started to think even more coherently as I woke up, and I thought, man, it's raining, it might be dangerous, I might slip and injure my kneecap or my shin bone or my neck bone or my femur bone. So then I thought it might be a lot better to not injure myself and just show you something fantastic. It's a huge, gargantuan, massively fantastic cup of Stanley. The Stanley Cup. I need a cup of coffee. What else do they call that? A cup of Joe or a cup of Stanley? So you could get a cup of Joe. If I had a cup of Joe in the form of coffee, my hands are cold. Woo, my hands are cold. Putting my hands in my pocket now. Got to zip up this hoodie. It's a little cold, but I'm being warmed up by the warmth of the magical, fantastic sport that everyone knows, loves, caresses, and embraces in their heart here in Canada and other parts of the world. Hockey! Hockey rhymes with coffee! 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 This is a humongous Stanley Cup. I can't remember what year they erected it, but there are some little signs, some nuggets of information right there that tells you and me, and since you're with me, you're living vicariously through me right now, I should probably show you and tell you some information, give you some information. I'm going to show you some information and tell you some information. It's cold. Some little nuggets of info right here. 320 man hours were put into creating this fantastic roadside thing. Hey, look. The Oilers, the Edmonton Oilers. Am I correct in assuming that the Edmonton hockey team is the Oilers? I believe it is. I am in Edmonton, Canada, and it is cold. There's another, right up there, there's another flag I can't read. There's another flag here that's withering in the coldness. I feel like withering away. It's almost like when the witch in The Wizard of Oz gets like doused and she starts shrinking, I'm melting. That's what that flag's doing, and that's what I'm doing. Everyone is cold out here, including inanimate objects, but this right here will never go away. It's solid, it's intact here in the Canadian bloodstream of the Canadian folk, what are Canadian folk called? The spirit of Stanley. What's your favorite Stanley? I know a few Stanleys. Stanley Kubrick, Stanley Spadowski from UHF, Stanley's Playhouse, Michael Richards' character in the wonderful Weird Al Yankovic movie. Anyway, back to this. This is awesome. They've actually carved whoever won each year. I don't know what I'm doing. It's like I'm playing a piano. You know, the biggest thing, you're supposed to hold the Stanley Cup. They hold it above their head. You're not given the right to hold the Stanley Cup above your head until you actually earn it by winning it. You have to win the competition. What is the final game in hockey? How many are in this series? Is it 7 games? Is it like baseball? I'm not really sure. I'm not really up on my hockey trivia and info. So if you're a hockey fan, leave some information down below about the Stanley Cup, about what your favorite hockey team is, and if you've ever seen this, or have you ever actually held or seen the real Stanley Cup in person? I have a couple friends who've actually seen and held and touched the real Stanley Cup. I actually know some people that actually kissed the Stanley Cup, so I'm going to kiss vicariously Oh man, I almost had a moment there where my lips got stuck. It's so cold out there. Imagine if my lips would have gotten stuck to the Stanley Cup, almost like a Christmas story thing. When the kid puts his tongue on the flagpole, imagine if my lips and my tongue would have gotten stuck to the Stanley Cup. Here, the massive Stanley Cup right here in Edmonton, Canada. I would be trapped in a Canadian awesomeness, coldness area. I am freezing cold right here. I'm gonna let you guys go. There's a Tim Hortons over there. I was gonna do a vlog about Tim Hortons too. Maybe I'll do that on another day. Speaking of Tim Hortons, he was actually a hockey player as well, but he's more well known now that he's passed away for his donut Timbits, the little Timbits that you eat. They're basically just donut holes in the coffee. But he started off as a hockey player. Every time I say hockey, all I think about is coffee. Because hockey kind of resembles and rhymes with hockey. So I'm gonna go get some coffee now. It is cold out here, but this is awesome. Look at this. Look at this right here. Look at this. The Stanley Cup. Stanley Cup right there. Check down below for my t-shirts. Also, subscribe up here, and I'm going to see you tomorrow. Have a great day. Goodbye. Whoa, I almost tripped right there. I almost tripped over that. I don't even play hockey, and I almost had a hockey-style injury. Thanks, Canada.